Hey, good evening, everybody. Man, it's a quick episode because I feel like it pod. It's myself and Artie. Man, we just gonna talk about we're at the midpoint of the NFL season, and then we're gonna jump into some NBA stuff, man. So what's been going on, Artie?
And just watching these games, keeping up with the college side of things too. But looks like we got a very bad very bad game tonight. So we'll go ahead and where do you want to start? You want to start with like the playoff outlook or recap some of the things?
Yeah. We can start. Okay. So I'm gonna ask you a question. What has been the most surprising thing or surprising player you've seen so far in this season?
Surprising player I've seen so far.
Yeah.
Mm, I guess and it's not a huge surprise, but it's a surprise how well he's doing. I would go with Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I will go with Jonathan Taylor and probably just the resurgence of that whole offense.
Yep.
And there was a lot of drama ending last season in Indianapolis, what they were going to do with Anthony Richardson, and people feeling like they made a big mistake moving on already with Daniel Jones and not really giving Richardson what some people would think is a fair shot. So Jonathan Taylor coming and running for like 6 yards a carry, which is like unheard of,
Right.
having 14 touchdowns, which is also unheard of at midseason. He's really carried the bulk of that offense. Obviously, Daniel Jones has played well, but just them as an offense as a whole has just been probably the most surprising thing to me. I thought they would be decent. I didn't think they were going to be. They're great. They're really good. All the pieces fit well together. But Jonathan Taylor is the leader of that, so
Um,
I put it with him.
I'm gonna stay on that team, and it's more. I don't think it's more less of a surprise. I know as an Eagles fan, we picked with him a lot because he was in New York. You know what I'm saying? But understanding the whole situation of what was going on up there, and obviously us grabbing Saquon, you know what I'm saying, and then
Yeah.
seeing Xavier McKinney flourish out there in Green Bay,
EBay.
um, and all the other stuff. I watched the coach on the sideline. Neither here or there because Sirianni does some weird things sometimes, but I am proud of Daniel Jones. You know what I'm saying? And people will say, "Well, it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't just. Maybe it was just a situation." Okay, we can go with that, right? But how many players have we seen recently in the last 2 years come out of New York and the very next year do something great? We saw it with Saquon. Was for 2000, got a Super Bowl. We're seeing Daniel Jones at what 6-1, six and
They're
one
seven and
now,
one.
7-1 now. Like, what is it about? Is it Dable? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is he doing up there that isn't conducive to success for the overall team? You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's not Dable, then is it the GM? If it ain't the GM, then is it the owner? You know what I'm saying? It's just I don't know what's going on up there. It just seems like it's this Dart. Yes, and I'll give props to Dart and prayers up to Scatterbo. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to see him get hurt whatsoever. Um, but I just feel like it's just something negative around that team. Hopefully, Jackson Dart will be a future. I don't want him with. I've seen enough of Dable. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is like a. He's all every time I see my man, he looks like a pissed off hamster. You know what I'm saying? And like I'm just tired of seeing him. You know what I'm saying? But Daniel Jones is my surprise player, and I'm proud of him. Because I've seen so many quarterbacks over the years that have just been put in a bad position initially and never recover. You know what I'm saying? The main person that would obviously we saw Sam Darnold, right, with the
Yep.
Jets. recovered, went to Minnesota, went for it 15-2 or
Yep, something like
14.
that. 14 to
Right.
3, something like that.
Yeah, and then went up to the North Pacific Northwest, and he's balling, right? And the most egregious one I thought I believe I saw was with Josh Rosen. I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah, Arizona.
They did him so dirty to the point that the man within 2 years, 3 years, he was out of the league.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And he
he
wasn't
started.
a
He
quarterback,
went to go. He went to go work at like what, a law firm or something.
right? And he wasn't a bad quarterback. It was just
No.
how he was handled. And even though people didn't understand, yes, they are grown. Yes, they're grown men, right? By law, they're 21 or over 18, right? But they're still maturing, and they needed the proper mentorship, the proper tutelage, the proper coaching to get what they needed. And obviously,
Right.
he didn't get that. And he was, by the time he was what 24, he was already out the league. He didn't, you know what I'm saying? This is one of the things that you just don't want to see.
I think we see it. I think we see it time and time again on both sides, but it's just it goes to show too, good coaching, maybe good ownership, good all that, but it
Yes,
all plays together because you see these guys leave these teams and they might even go pick up other offensive pieces.
right,
And the Giants now, Scatterbo, he's injured, but they went up to get him. They got Jackson Dart. They have Neighbors, who is now injured as well.
right,
But it's something with Arizona. Same thing. Marvin Harrison Jr., Kyler Murray, James Conner. Somehow, some way, whether it's injury, not injury, coaching change, no coaching change, it seems that those offenses still somehow don't flourish. They still somehow don't get it, even when they move on and pick the next guy and go to the next guy. So those guys, they stay behind. So to your point of like what's going on in New York, it could just be a New York thing. It could just be an Arizona thing. It could just be something in those organizations that it just doesn't pan out ever.
right.
And on the flip side, I was going to ask you too. You kind of got into it with the Giants. We talked about we highlighted two positive surprises. Do you have a negative surprise, like a
Yes,
surprise that okay, I didn't see this coming, or
yes.
you might have seen it coming?
I
I'm going to
definitely
go with the
saw it coming.
Ravens. Ravens, self-explanatory. Um,
I definitely saw it coming, and I'll start within the division. The Washington Commanders. I saw that coming from a mile away. Right? They got Jaden. That is great. I believe Jaden is going to be an elite quarterback. Right? He's already trending towards that as long as he's healthy. Um, but the biggest thing that I saw was they decided to run it back with a roster that was already 74 years old. Right? Now, I'm not criticizing them for the thought, because the thought makes sense. If the roster was, and I was saying 74, but if the roster, let's say the guys on the roster are 30, you got Ertz that's 35. You got Bobby Wagner that's 34, 35. I think he's 36, right? You got Debo. Debo's in year 10. Terry McLaurin is in year 9, and he's 31 now, and he just got hurt. He hurt his quad, and he's out again, right? So you got a lot of guys that are just older. You got Von Miller. He's 38, 37, 38 years old too. They have just too many guys that are older on that roster. And they decided to run it back, which means guess what? Those guys are just a year older. You see what I'm saying? And they can't protect Jaden. And you're 40 or 45 years old on your roster. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just exaggerating, but that was a disaster waiting to happen. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I say it, like I said, is because one, they were older. Two, they got lucky with injuries last year. And then, you can only play who's on your schedule. However, that's their schedule. They played a third or fourth place schedule. So they were running into the Chicago Bears. They were running into some other the bottom feeders of the league. And hey, that's what they got. But now they're older. They had to play a better schedule, and they're not good. They're not good. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people. Obviously as a fan, you're going to big up your team regardless. You know what I'm saying? But they just are just too old, and because they poured money into that aging roster, you see what I'm saying? By the time it's time to pay Jaden, what type of team you're gonna be able to put around him? Because you put all your money in these older guys. So that's my disappointment that I saw coming from a mile away.
Go down to Marv with that. The surprise so far of the year for you, disappointment or something that's good, a good surprise.
The Colts, the Colts, the Colts are by far the biggest surprise in my eyes, and I'm gonna be. I'm big on the Colts. I'm high on the Colts right now because if nobody expected this, like nobody saw this coming, right? If you would have asked me, I would have told you that's the Texans division, and it's nothing anybody in that division can do to stop the Texans from winning that division. But the play of Daniel Jones and the play of Jonathan Taylor and the defense is just getting stops when they need them. It's a simple formula. Shane is out there playing, uh, coaching them up. Daniel Jones is playing excellent football, um, and they're winning, and that's huge. So the Colts will probably be my surprise, um, my surprise. But my disappointment would stay in the division with the Texans because I'm extremely disappointed in the Texans, and I think like last year we were big on it. Has CJ regressed? But I don't think it's CJ. I don't think it's just CJ. I think it's that staff. Like there's something there that isn't clicking. There's something there that isn't connecting, and the Texans are way worse than what they actually should be. Like the Texans, I thought were if you looked at the Chiefs are the cream of the crop, and then you had the Bills and the Ravens. But I thought the Texans this year were going to take that step. I'm sorry, I keep losing y'all because I'm out here. I'm down here in the woods.
You
Trying
good?
to. But I thought the Texans were going to take that next. The Texans are my disappointment. The Texans, I'm extremely disappointed in because I thought they were going to take that step and be legitimate contenders. And possibly, like I said, going into the year, we knew that it was going to be three teams. It was going to be the Ravens, it was going to be the Bills, and the Chiefs were going to figure it out. We were trying to figure out who the other four teams were, basically. And I penciled the Texans in for being in the mix. And
Yeah.
lo and behold, it looks like not only has CJ regressed, that whole team, they've regressed as a team.
They should never. They should never.
So
They should have never. They should have never. The thing, like, and I'll piggyback. I'll piggyback on your CJ regression point. Um, they should have never fired Bobby Slowick. It was a panic move.
yeah,
His OC was there with him from the beginning, right? And that he had his best work with Slowick. Slowick goes, everything falls apart. They trade, and then on top of it, they traded Tunsil, and they traded another guy on the line as well, or Kendrick Green. I believe they traded him as well. So you look at that, and you understand that a lot of this wasn't necessarily, yes. Can CJ play better? Yes, he can. But a lot of this was self-imposed on him by the GM and the coach. And I love Mufasa. You know what I'm saying? I do, but at the same time, he put CJ in this spot too. So he shouldn't be getting shot bail either for it. He was a part of this regression. You know what I'm saying? So we got that. I think Marva popped back on. I think he's got to do a signal, but that was one. And then another one that I'm I think by default, if the Ravens don't get it together, you know what I'm saying? By default, I think as far as Aaron Rodgers goes, I think going back and looking at what collectively the players went through with the Jets, I think that he's done as best as he can for a 41-year-old quarterback. You know, that's a mild surprise because a lot of people thought he was done, but I just think that situation up in with the Jets is so toxic. And another reason for that is the Eagles just got Michael Carter, right? Michael Carter on the second, and do you know what he did to facilitate that trade? He waived $5 million to get out of there. Michael Carter waived $5 million to get away from the Jets, and I
Yeah.
love,
Well,
and I like Aaron Glenn, but for somebody to give up $5 million to get out of there, that's not good, bro, on any level.
it's a shitty organization. Like the Jets. And like I was watching something. I'm sorry, I don't know what y'all talking about because, like I said, my phone been acting crazy. But I watched Antonio Pierce and just the fact that what we spoke on last week about Woody saying that about Justin Fields, right?
Right.
And then Antonio Pierce said that pretty much Buddy's guaranteed $30 million the next 2 seasons, like
Yeah.
no matter what. But it's like, so you trash your starting quarterback, not the coach, the owner, and then a lot of people were saying, oh well, what does Antonio Pierce know? He was he was fired. He got fired by the Raiders. Like, and then I'm looking at it like, if anybody knows about how shitty organizations are ran, Antonio Pierce would be the guy because he coached the Raiders. And it's like I said, if owners were held to the same standards or players, Woody Johnson wouldn't be an owner right now because he's that horrible of an owner. And that's the difference. Like, owners aren't held to the same standard as players and coaches are, because if you lose as an owner, they don't care, because it's all about the end of the day. It's about a profit. It's about a dollar. It's about a bottom line. And people are going to support the Jets. Like, the Jets ain't been good. And I mean, as old as I am, I can't remember any time in my life I've ever heard anybody say, "Oh, you got to watch out for the Jets. They might be like the Jets are going to the Super Bowl." Like, I've never heard that in my lifetime.
Dog, the last time the last time the motherfuckers was good, like somebody landed on the moon. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah,
like they still living off Joe Namath.
Yeah. And then that brings me to the now you got me going, Artie. So now I'm starting to think of more like the Raiders. The Raiders. Look, man, like, I don't know what's going on out there, and I'm not going to pretend like I know, but it just I haven't heard a peep from Ashton Jency since like week 2. He had one good week, and I haven't heard shit from him since. Gino's out there stinking it up. You know what I'm saying?
He jumping in the lake to wash off the dirt. No, bitch, you might just get in the film room or something, like, because you out here and you're embarrassing yourself. Pete Carroll don't care.
Yeah, because he's just getting the money anyway. But look, man, like it's some nasty and low key. People are not. Here's the thing that is, it's not really surprising because you see it more and more and more. But how unwilling the main media is to call out when some of the people that they prop up as great quarterbacks have very subpar games.
Josh Allen.
Basically ass games. Like, we've seen, like, what was it? Justin Herbert, he didn't win a game in a month. And they just let it slide right through. Kyler's been missing, and Kyler's been missing it. I'm not saying they've made Kyler. They call Kyler elite, but he's been missing to Arizona all year.
Yeah,
literally. You know what I'm saying? Trevor Lawrence. Oh, it's just in Jacksonville. You know, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's weird.
What?
It's very weird to me, man.
You know what it is, and Artie, you don't have to listen to it every day like I do, and Black don't have to listen to it because he's a little further away. But like you have people like Dan Cilio, Dan the Dickhead Cilio, or whatever, and he literally goes out his way. Him and a little coon ass nigga that's on his show, the little nigga that don't know he black, like they go out of their way to trash Jalen Hurts for no reason. Jalen Hurts literally has played 2 really great weeks back to back. I think in 2 weeks he's had 6 incomplete passes and 7 touchdowns. Like something stupid like that. Like, and I'm looking at it like Jalen Hurts has really carried this offense the last 2 weeks. Like, you got the big run from Saquon, but Jalen Hurts was so efficient. What was he, 16 for 19 or 15 for 19, something like that against the Giants?
Yeah.
Amazing. Put the ball right where he needed to, made all the right decisions. Eagles win by double digits, right?
Right.
This dude gets on his show and says nothing he did was impressive. Like, basically said nothing he did was impressive, and that if he was on the Bills would be 2-5 right now.
Look, man.
And it's like,
look, but my man doesn't look like he wipes his ass. Like, he looks like he wipes his ass and puts it on his face, but that's neither here nor there. You know what I mean?
But it's just like the offense is playing through Hurts. Like, Hurts isn't being carried. He is the offense. He's been the reason the offense has been successful the last 2 weeks. And if you go look at it, he's the reason they were successful in the second half against the Rams. The man has 20 total touchdowns, 1 interception, and 1 fumble. Like, if his name was Josh Allen, if his name was Justin Herbert, if his name was Pat Mahomes, he would be the number 1 guy for MVP right now. Like, if you look at his QBR is top 5, his quarterback ratings top 5, his total touchdowns are top 5, his completion percentage is top 5. Yet you have people like Dirty Dan and Coon and Black Coon that just sit back and just spew hate. They hate this guy. The end of the day, the object of the game is to win. The object is to win.
But a lot of it also is just the fact that people play into that. You know what I'm saying? Like, people play into that too. And a lot of people play into it because they don't they don't read, right? They don't watch whole interviews. They don't watch whole games. They can't comprehend. So then all they're doing is spitting out what is being said on the radio or what is being said on TV. So then when someone presents facts to them, they get angry. And a lot of that is because of them. There's a lot of it because you can't not hold the individual accountable for not reading, for not communicating, or for not researching. Because everything that we're talking about is easily researchable. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll see online, like, you know, I'm pretty much running the damn the pod Twitter page, but you see this daily. People will spit out shit that just be wrong. You know what I'm saying? They'll just be dead wrong. And I'll be like, Google tells you that. StatMuse tells you that. Football, I forgot what it's called. Football Reference tells you that.
Yep.
Yeah, people just don't read. People just don't research because they're lazy. But again, the local radio stations, the mainstream radio, the mainstream media, they feed into that because they know people are lazy. You see what I'm saying? And that gives them the the ammunition to turn back around and just keep feeding you so much of the bullshit because they know you lazy. And then they know you're gonna turn around and get mad and rage out because you dumb. It's just a fact. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it's not just tied. It's not just tied to Jalen. This is an epidemic. You know what I'm saying? They prop up who they choose to prop up, and then when those quarterbacks don't have a good game or games in a row, that topic completely disappears, or the talk about that quarterback completely disappears. Baker had a bad game. You didn't hear shit about it.
I think 2 in a row.
Right, and you didn't hear shit about it. They won one of them, but you still didn't hear shit about it.
Or bad or good games against bad opponents get trashed by some people, and then for other people that's like the best.
Thank you.
The best thing ever. You know, if somebody goes out there, let's say the Eagles play the Saints.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts has a great game. Well, it's the Saints.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, that's what he was supposed to do. I mean, they're playing the Saints. But when somebody else does what they're supposed to do against the Saints, it's this is the greatest performance we've seen since 1978 when in the Bills franchise history for Josh Allen. And, you know, it's those type of stats. But I mean, I don't the media is a lot, I would say even more than 10 years ago, maybe way more focused on clickbait, impressions, views, controversy, drama, because you have a lot of today again, and I'm not huge on him, but Keon Coleman is an NFL wide receiver. Mm-hmm. He's talented enough to be an NFL wide receiver. That's why he made it. He's a first-round pick. Right. He's played pretty well. The Bills' offense is kind of weird for wide receivers, as we've seen since Josh Allen has been there, and how they've utilized Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, and they guys that wanted to leave.
You're going somewhere with this one. I see it. Yep.
And then you have Keon Coleman, who has a high game, a low game. Khalil Shakir, the same thing.
High game, low game.
The same thing. They like to utilize tight ends. Sometimes they like to let Josh Allen do everything by himself.
Or not utilize James Cook.
Yeah, James Cook, who just had 216 or whatever he had against the Carolina Panthers, who didn't give up a rush for over 10 yards for 3 straight games.
Right.
And he exploded. In some games, he doesn't even touch the ball 10 times. But he's a pass catching back.
Yes.
So there's a lot of opportunities outside of just running the ball to catch the ball. But then you have a guy like Steve Smith Sr., Hall of Famer. Mm-hmm. Great, all-time great.
Yep.
Say what he says. I don't know if you caught it about Keon Coleman today.
Yeah, I heard it. I saw it. Yeah.
And it reminded me of a couple years ago with Jerry Jeudy. It just seems very, I don't know, the Bills just beat the Panthers. It seems very salty. It seems very, for absolutely no reason whatsoever to say. You could say, okay, this guy, he's not panning out. But to say, you know, he's not a dog, and you can't teach a dog, or you can't teach somebody that's not a dog how to be a dog. He just doesn't have it.
Not recognizing that if you go back, right, Josh Allen had Stephon Diggs, who's doing just fine.
With Drake May.
Right. He had Amari Cooper, who was fine up there, but he didn't get the ball enough. You know what I'm saying? He even had Gabe Davis the first time around. And when Gabe Davis was eating, he was throwing him the ball. But it's not with Buffalo, it's not the wide receivers. It's the quarterback.
Yep.
The quarterback is the issue because they and I'm not saying that Josh isn't good. I'm just saying that how they craft the narrative around him, if there's any faults in his game, they never attribute that to him.
And that's another thing too, is for some people in the media or just fans, right, there's guys that are not allowed to make mistakes.
Yeah.
AJ Brown posts on Twitter because of Jalen Hurts. Stephon Diggs throws his helmet because of himself.
Right.
But that's
Kelce
because
did
who
it.
they're playing with.
Kelsey did it. Kelsey got in the
Andy Reid.
Big Red's face, and they slid that right under the door and let it keep going.
Yep.
Right. But you did mention something that I did want to touch on. Was the AJ Brown situation. And I'm speaking. I want to take the time. I mean, you could chime in as well. I want to take the time to directly speak to Eagles fans about this. Right. Um, I know I joke around and play around. It's like there's two. It does look like there's people already choosing sides on AJ, and people just don't know the situation, right? Both sides want the same thing. Let me start there. Both sides want the same thing. They just want the team to win. So there shouldn't really be any friction there. You know what I'm saying? But I think what people do is they start to go down rabbit holes, right? With saying certain things about the player that you just don't know. And that's on either side. That doesn't make you now I will say this does not make you a bad person. This does not make you uninformed. I just think a lot of it is because people are hypersensitive to situations, not knowing the whole thing. You're not knowing the whole situation. You know what I'm saying? I peeped it, and I'm not trying to say like I'm like Oracle and no shit like that. But if you pay attention to your guys, AJ said a long time ago that he had mental health issues that he was working on, that he was trying to get better with, right? And they go win the Super Bowl, right? And he then comes out and says that wasn't fulfilling. That he said he thought that would be fulfilling for him, but he's chasing something bigger than that. And a lot of it is tied to his childhood. And I'm not going to get into that because y'all can go read up on it. But what he said it made sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Because me, and I just relate to myself. Being in the Navy, right? I left home because I wanted something bigger than what was at home, right? And I chased for a long time. I chased rank, trying to move up, trying to move up, trying to move up, trying to move up. And the thing that people don't understand is that whole time I was in a race or a competition, even though it's in the military, they try to make everything is a competition between you and another sailor or you and another officer, or the case may be. No, I was in a competition with myself to be the best that I can, to move up, to reach ranks that because nobody else in my neighbor or nobody else in my family had got that. Nobody in my family on my mom's side or my dad's, or yeah, people on my dad's side didn't join the military, whatever, but they didn't go as far as I did. And that was my thing, right? And with that, sometimes it comes because I have anxiety. You see what I'm saying? And it's not from a lack of confidence. It's from just I always wanted something to be right. You know what I'm saying? Like, because everything I do is a reflection of me. And I think sometimes in that case, in a team sport, that can be construed as he's a me thing. But I don't even necessarily think I think it's a subconscious thing to him because of how driven he is. I don't think he thinks of it as a slight towards his teammates or a negative, having a negative relationship with his teammates. I don't think it's that. I just think that he's so driven that he's looking for that next milestone. You know what I'm saying? That, and I don't think he's intentionally trying to be a bad teammate. I don't think he's intentionally trying to put somebody off. I don't think he's trying to not be open with the fan base or open with anybody else. I just think that's just he's wired. That's just the way he's wired. You know what I'm saying? And people will jump out. You know what I'm saying? I haven't really weighed on either side. I've just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like to the point where I'm like, I don't think it's what people want. I don't think the situation is what it is. But I want to say to them, to the Eagles fans in general, that I respect all of y'all's points of view. But I would also ask for y'all to give some, even both sides, give some grace to each other and to the situation. So go ahead.
No, I would say that's a good reason why I'm trying to think. I don't think I ever have. I never like to use the word diva around wide receivers who want the ball more.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a good trait to have. I don't see why, especially if you're a fan of that team and you think that wide receiver is great and talented, as we know AJ Brown is, or basically all of the diva wide receivers have been very great and talented. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't that person want the ball? They might be the best player on that team. They might be the best player on that offense. Of course, they're going to want the ball. If they didn't want the ball, that would be an issue.
Wrong, yeah.
Yeah. Wrong. So I think. When is the 4th? Tuesday.
Yeah.
On Tuesday, the trade deadline is that day. After that day, those two guys are going to be on the same team still.
Yeah.
And they're going to be pushing for another good second half of the season, a good Super Bowl. A good run to the Super Bowl, hopefully for them. And they'll realize again, if they don't already, I'm sure they do, that they have the same goals. They have the same priorities.
Yeah. And people don't understand, like, the process of being successful is one separate process. Then you have to lump in success, learning how to win with a team, right? Learning how to communicate, learning how to listen, learning how to have attention to detail. All of those things take time.
Yeah.
Winning and being, not only just getting to the thing of being able to win takes time. Then once you get there and you, like you said, the Eagles won the Super Bowl, you have to maintain that. None of that is easy.
And there's not, I'll put it like this too. When you go on your GPS on your phone, and let's say you're going to drive a few states away across country, mm-hmm. and you type in the address, it doesn't give you just one route.
Yeah.
There's several ways to get to the same place.
Right. Bingo.
And maybe you need to cut through this certain state so you can meet up with a family member. It's going to set you back a little bit.
Right.
But you're trying to see somebody. And this is the route you need to take to accomplish that. So there's so many, you could say, okay, forget that person and maybe save a couple hours of time and just keep going. Mm-hmm. But that's a part of that's a part of the trip. That's a part of the journey.
Thank you.
And that's something I think people don't often understand too, is that there's so many different ways to do kind of the same thing.
So then imagine, now you're at the part where you have won. Now you have to maintain it, right? Yep. And you're going to be every team's Super Bowl every week, right? And you have to manage that. Yes, that is what no doubt that is what they asked for. That is what you asked for this job. This is what you got. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Yes. But then you also have to tie into that. I have mental health issues along with that. That is a lot. You know what I'm saying? And that's an every week. It's not even just every week, by the minute, by the hour, by the day, by the week. You see what I'm saying?
And even without that, all of these people are human.
Yes.
Every last one of them are human.
Human beings. They have families, small kids. They have people they have to answer to when they're out of uniform.
Yep.
It's a real thing. I think there's a lot that just doesn't get peeled back when people go through these things. You know what I'm saying? And it's just understand that they, as a whole, the team is in a good spot. But I'm more interested in knowing that mentally AJ's in a good spot because you never once heard him say he didn't want to be there. He said it, but it goes back to what we said in the beginning. People will gloss over what you say. The man said they will gloss over what you say to get to their own reasoning, and that's okay. But you cannot still discredit what that man said. So now, how apt do you think he would be to tell you again later on when you've already shunned his feelings away and he has mental health issues? Why would he reach out? Why would he be open with you again?
Yeah, that's a good point.
All right, so
that's a very good point. I don't know if we end off the NFL of that and go into a quick NBA.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so I guess I'd like to start the NBA. The same thing. Obviously, you're a Philly fan.
Yeah.
Just your quick surprise and maybe disappointment of the first 5-6 games, or 4 games, 4 or 5 games.
I will start with my disgust. What is going on in New Orleans?
Nothing.
Yeah, and and I'm tired of it. Like, yes, I see that Zion works hard to get his body back, and he took his training and conditioning good, or seriously, and I'm proud of him for doing that. But I was on the way. I saw it in real time, and then I was listening to it on the way home. I went to Sam's Club. Sam's Club is the shit, by the way, if people don't know. But look, man, like they wouldn't sign DeAndre Jordan, who's been in the league for like 37 years, right? You just drafted Derek Queen. Just drafted him this year. Just drafted him. And you have Misik. I don't know how to say his name.
Missy, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. You just drafted him. Why is DeAndre Jordan getting 12 minutes in a game? Why?
Starting the game too.
Starting the game. What are you doing? And I love Joe Dumars. You know what I'm saying, from the Bad Boys. You know what I'm saying, from the back in the day with the Pistons and all that, with Zeke and all them. But like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Why the fuck is he? What? Why?
And it worked out well for them. I mean, obviously they lost by a lot last night, but Jeremiah Fears played well, so I can't really criticize that too much. But you go out and trade for Jordan Poole as well, and now he's on the bench. Yeah. So you go and draft Derek Queen. Last year you draft Missy. This year you trade for Jordan Poole. All 3 of those guys coming off the bench.
Free. Look, man, and this is weird to even say it after all the BS that Zion been doing the last couple of years. But free Zion, man. Get him the fuck out of there. If y'all not gonna do anything with him, let him go somewhere. Let him go to Memphis. You know what I'm saying? I always said that. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, let him go to Memphis, man. Like, but I don't know what the plan is in New Orleans, but it ain't a good one.
Yeah, I thought too after the first couple of games with them. I think they were in Memphis and San Antonio, and you got the highlight of Zion. I mean, he's not really postering Wemby, but the dunk for the first play of the game. And those games were entertaining, and they came down to the wire, and I thought, give it some time. And then the next 2 games are 30-point blowouts. I think yesterday they lost by 34. The game before that they lost by 30. And I don't think they need any time. I think they figured it out. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think that there's a path forward because they have great pieces. Like I that's the thing that it's so hard for me to understand. Trey Murphy is a good player.
Yep.
Herbert Jones is a good player.
Yep. They got guys, man. They got guys.
They've got some dudes that can play offense and defense. Some dudes that can shoot. They've got everything that you need in a basketball team.
They just don't have They don't have, and this is for any team sport, man. You don't have fucking structure. You need structure and accountability. You know what I'm saying? You need a guy that you need a coach that's going to hold these guys accountable. And I'm not saying that Willie G ain't, but it's whatever it is going on down there, it's not going. It's not moving. It's not moving in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? So you got that situation, and then another thing, because obviously AR ended the game last night, but I'm tired of Rudy, man. I'm tired of Rudy, bro.
Oh, Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, I'm tired of him. You can't keep when a game is close. You can't keep him on the court because he can't give you any offense. And then he took 2 steps to the right, too much, and it allowed AR to get right to that floater, and it went right over him. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I'm tired of Rudy. Like we need to end this Rudy thing, man.
It's very weird too because obviously Ant didn't play, but he seems much better with Ant, and it seems like Ant really wants him there. Yeah. But when Ant's not on the court, he's just non-existent on both. He's not really existent really at all ever on offense, but he's really non-existent.
But you would think after all these years he would. And I don't know if it's just how the game is being taught now, or whatever the case may be. But you would think he would have a half of a move, something like even if he could just back somebody down, because it's not like he's like skinny. He's a big guy, but I just for whatever reason he can't even do anything backing anybody down.
Well, I guess that goes to kind of my surprise. One of my surprises. Yeah. Wembanyama not shooting the 3 ball and coming in and saying, I'm getting all my points in the paint. I'm 7'5". Yeah. I'm getting all my points in the paint. Yeah. That's kind of to your point of Rudy Gobert. You're a big dude. Get down there and do something. At least a little bit. You don't have to do, you don't have to score every play. But Wembanyama, he's coming out. Last year he was shooting like 6-7 threes per game. I don't even think throughout the first 4 games, I don't even think he has shot 5-6 threes the whole time.
He doesn't need to.
I'm 7'5". I'm getting to the spot. I'm turning around. I'm dunking the ball.
Yeah, if he wants to, he can. But the whole thing is, he realized he's 7'6". He realized that, right? And then in this era of basketball, everything is 4s and down now, right? You may have a couple teams, obviously be, Cat, Joker. I don't count Ayton because Ayton he'd be weird. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes. But there's a select few of teams that have big guys that are actually legit big guys that can challenge you on both sides of the court. But most of these teams don't have that. So Rudy, to my point, should be able to at least drop step, dunk, drop step off the glass, bang twice, shorts or hook. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Now, is he a great free throw shooter? No, but at the same time, he can put something in his tool bag to use. And I just haven't seen him do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, just get to the right side of the block.
And it's too many games like last night too. Why do you have 6 rebounds?
Yeah.
Why do you have 6 rebounds? Yeah. Like, how is that even possible? Especially from a guy that was, I think, rebound leader for a few 15, 16 a game. What is going on that you have 6?
Yeah, it ain't adding up, man. It ain't adding up. And I'm just like, what are you doing?
All right.
Bullshit.
I kind of want to flip over. You'll have a little more insight, probably more to say about this, but I want to flip over to first. I'm going to say there's 3 people. I learned this last week. There's 3 people in NBA history that have over 900 threes made and over 10,000 rebounds. Mm-hmm. And I want to see if you can guess any of the 3.
You talking about current guys?
2 of them are active. 1 of them is retired.
Harden. I want to say KD.
I thought so too, but no. And the other one is the points leader of all time.
O'Brien.
So it's actually so that's the only one that you got. LeBron, Dirk, and Nikola Vucevic.
Oh, big. Oh, yeah. I forgot it. Yeah, he been around a minute. Yeah, because he started shooting the three.
Yep.
Started shooting the three later on. Yeah.
He's averaging 18 and 13 with 5 assists. Josh Giddey 19 and a half, 8.5 with 7 with about 8 assists. And that Chicago Bulls team and the Philadelphia 76ers are both 4-0. What do you make of, if you want to just talk about the Sixers, but what do you make of those two teams? I think those are huge surprises for a lot of people.
Bazelis is legit, right? He's legit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He's a legit one, man. You know what I'm saying? I was watching him. You know what I'm saying? He's legit. And then he got Cody out there too. You know what I'm saying? So, or Kobe, I'm sorry, not Cody. Kobe. You know what I'm saying? So he's legit. But with the 76ers, bro, like, and I know most 76ers fans out there can attest to this. Even during the process years, we've been begging for them to get up and down the court. Yeah, Joel's obviously going to be there, but it's refreshing. It is refreshing to see the team have guys that are energy, full of skill. That's another thing. Not potential, not flashes, skill, that are getting up and down the court. Not waiting for Joel. They're going to go get their buckets. Between Maxey and VJ, and Maxey, look, man, Maxey's going to be an all-star this year, right? I'm saying that now. Maxey's going to be an all-star this year. VJ, bro, I remember him saying in his draft process, interviews and all that when he was talking. He was specifically talking about he didn't like the spacing in the college game because everything is pretty much compacted, right? Some of it is due to the defense, people playing zone. Some of it is just how, the structure of the offense, right? Everybody's sitting in a spot waiting, so no one's doing any real moving. You know what I mean? So he was pretty much, when he was going to do his work, he couldn't because somebody was right in the middle of the damn court. You know what I'm saying? But the NBA game has more space. And what you see from VJ now, man, look, I'm not talking. He's still, obviously, he's going to get better. But once he gets his real NBA body, bro, that dude is, look, him and Maxey are going to be a terror. And it's not just because them two. Jared McCain's coming back. And he was in the Rookie of the Year talks last year before he got hurt. So you got Maxey, you got VJ, you got McCain, and then look, Adem Bona, once he stops fouling, they are going to be an issue. And they have shooting. And that's another thing. That's why you can bring Joel along at a slow at a slower pace than what you normally would if he didn't have a Maxey or he didn't have a VJ. And then you can incorporate PG. And then another positive is, and I hate to say it, you know what I'm saying, like Kelly Oubre, bro. Yeah. Kelly. This is what I expected Kelly to be, and it's a four game stretch. But overall, I expected Kelly to be this 5 to 6 years ago, where he's accepting the contact, getting to the rack, finishing over people, backing them down, the physicality, and then locking up on defense. You know what I'm saying? He's not taking reckless shots. He's going at you. You know what I'm saying? So he's making you have to guard him. And then he's drawing fouls. You see what I'm saying? If he just stuck to that obviously you're not going to be great every game, right, but you can be consistent in your effort. You see what I'm saying? You can be consistent.
Drop this on you real quick. They've got 5 guys actually. But I think Joel, he missed one game, right?
Yeah.
Or did he play all 4?
No, he didn't play all 4. He missed the Orlando game.
So far they've got 4 guys that have played every game and have shot 5 or more threes.
Mm-hmm.
Oubre 45% at 5 threes. Grimes at 6.8 threes with 48.1%. Edgecombe 7 threes, 42.9, and Maxey at 9.5 attempts at 47.4. Yeah. And as a team, 42%. Joel's 37.5 with 5.3 attempts. So that's not bad either.
They are, obviously went 24 and 58 last year, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But they are going to be a problem. And I see a lot of people, actually on Twitter, shout out to a couple of folks, Cliff, Ryan, a couple of folks too out there, man. I forgot it was one guy, man, Jeff. Jeff said it as well. He just has to turn it. Find the Tim Duncan DVDs. You know what I'm saying? Get on YouTube and look at what Tim did. Look at what Tim did the last, let's say from 2010 to the time he retired. Look at what he did. He manned the middle on defense. He got to the block. You might have saw him go out a little past the free throw line, but Tim did all of his work on the block, and he made you have to guard him, right? Understanding now, back before, Joel didn't have those guys around him to shoot like that. You got Maxey, you got VJ, you got McCain, you got Grimes, you got PG coming back. You got shooters. If you just punish these guys, you because eventually you're not gonna be able to. You can't double everybody. And then guess what? When that happens, he's just gonna beat the block up, and it's gonna be a problem. You're gonna have to pick something. You have to try to pick something to take away. You're gonna just alive.
Imagining it now and how it was before, where he would have to get to his spot with the ball.
Yeah.
Now he can get to a spot without the ball and receive the ball at his spot.
Yes, and that's the biggest thing. Just having people that can inbound the ball was one thing, and then actually making post-entry passes was a whole different task that they couldn't do because they couldn't trust themselves to do it.
Tyrese Maxey, great cutter.
Yep.
VJ Edgecombe, great cutter. Quentin Grimes, pretty good cutter. Kelly Oubre, great cutter, very athletic, can jump out the gym.
Yes.
It's this. I know a lot of people didn't see this coming, and I think a lot of people also didn't see Joel being able to be Joel again, and they're getting him there with the minutes. But as you said, I think it's a surprise it's a surprise for me a little bit because I didn't think that they would start so fast. I'm a big fan of VJ from Baylor, but I think they got a chance. I think the East is not they're not weak, but they're not the strongest. And there's a lot of inconsistent teams.
Yeah.
And who knows what happens with, I think he stays the whole season, but who knows what happens with Giannis.
Yeah. I think with that, I think Giannis is really, really leaning into his leadership. Remember when they showed that clip of him smacking somebody upside the head overseas? Yeah. I think he's leaning into that more over here. And some of the things I've heard him say about the guys that are on his team, he's like, look, this shit isn't going to be easy. This is what we got, and we're going to have to work together, and we got to do it the right way, Giannis's way. And if you don't do it his way, he's either going to slap you upside the head or he's going to ask out.
And they got 2 of his brothers there in the organization. So
yes. So he's laying the groundwork. I don't think he leaves. I really don't. I think he's going to stay because he even said it. Like, if he's not in Milwaukee, dude, he's not even living in the U.S. when all this is said and done. He's going back to Greece. He said that already.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man.
That's why I thought if he does leave, he's gonna aim for a more diverse Greek centric city. And the only thing I could really think of was I remember Game 7 in Brooklyn, KD's toe on the line, and there was 2 sections full of Greek
New
people.
York. Yeah, New York. Yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
just cheering for him and his brother that didn't get a single second in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And going back to the train after the game, seeing all the Greek people happy singing, and I'm like, this is the only place
Yeah.
outside of Milwaukee that I think he'd land for living purposes. For basketball reasons, there's a lot of places, but he doesn't seem too worried about basketball. If you're staying in with the Milwaukee Bucks, I don't think you're too concerned of basketball reasons.
Nah.
So
yeah. But yeah, man. This has been a great show, right? We might try to do something over the weekend. Obviously, the Eagles ain't playing, so you're gonna probably catch me trolling some more people just playing around. If not, we probably be back on here next Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Get another show in and see what's going on for the second half of the season. It's gonna probably be especially after the trade deadline. I'm sorry.
oh yeah.
We probably if we got the time, you know what I'm saying, we probably jump on and talk about that. Probably next Tuesday.
Yep.
We probably talk about that Tuesday night. We probably talk about that, man. And again, y'all, it's been a blessing to see all the people watching. That's cool. Appreciate y'all. Hitting like that, subscribe to the YouTube page. Follow us on Twitter because I feel like it. Follow us on IG as well. You saw my guy Marv, man. He had to dip out, but he's on the team. We got Nelson. He's on the team. He's working. We got AO is also on the team. He's working. Everybody coming from different aspects. Artie is a Green Bay fan. AO is a Jacksonville fan. Nelson is a Buffalo fan. Me and Marv are Eagles fans as well. So
one more thing from me before we go.
Yeah.
Any Pittsburgh Steelers fan watching this, support your team. I was at the game on Sunday night in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And for every third down that Pittsburgh was on offense, to hear "Go Pack Go" shouted so that Aaron Rodgers had to go to a silent count. But every time the Green Bay Packers had the ball on third down on offense, not hearing anybody say anything.
That sucks.
You have to have a better environment. I think that's part of the reason why Pittsburgh might not be doing so well this season defensively. But yeah, their fan base. I thought it was going to be crazy there. I've heard a lot of good things about their fan base. The atmosphere was,
and God forbid the Ravens catch them too. That's another thing.
Oh man.
Yeah.
They walked out of that game because they were up 16-7 at halftime. They walked out of that game early too. Like they walked out that game with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Sad.
And that's not well. We got 5. We gotta give me 5 more minutes. That's one thing I also want to talk about. They have the same sort of aging roster as the Commanders. You look at it, Aaron is 41. What's his name? Slay's 34, 35 now, right?
Traded Fitzpatrick for Ramsey.
Right. Ramsey, hey, look, man. And I love Slay, man, but my guy, look, it ain't looking good, bro. You know what I mean? I look. It's a faction of folks that out there don't fuck with him. But my man ain't looking good, bro. It looked nasty. You know what I'm saying? I've seen Ramsey still had, you can still see Ramsey being Ramsey, you know what I'm saying? Playing up close to the line, doing some things, but that defense is
very nasty. Very nasty,
man. Nasty, but all right, Artie, man, this has been a great show again. Like, please, man, hit the subscribe, like and subscribe to the page or for the YouTube page. Follow us on Twitter, IG, and Facebook, all the same thing because I feel like it. And we'll probably be back to talk to y'all about the trade after the trade deadline Tuesday or Wednesday. But it's been a blessing to be with y'all, man. Artie, thank you so much for being here, brother. And everybody else, have a good night.
Have a good night.
All right.